which nobody records up there yet, but they're made to do that if necessary. But they'll sync up to 192 for super high-res audio without a problem. This is why we think it's important to operate on mode 2 for the syncing capability, but not everybody agrees. So, and this is some of the stuff that you can change, which is really cool. So with the software, and we'll see it later, I have a picture of it in here too. With the software, I can change all this stuff from like a little channel strip. Compressor limiters, other stuff. I can turn off the LEDs because there's little LEDs in the front of them that glow blue to let you know it's getting phantom power and it's working. I can turn those off if they're disconcerting to somebody. If you have a concert and you have 40 of those on stage, all you see is 40 blue glowing LEDs that can really kind of irritate the audience. So we can turn that off. The DO1 microphone has a red LED that you can turn on and off, and you can actually actuate it remotely because for like voiceover people, they won't start talking until they see red. As soon as they see red, they read their script. Well, you can actually turn that red light on and off, so it basically tells them when to talk. They're just like talking monkeys, kind of. They see the red light, they just start talking. That's it. So we can turn that off and on, and mute it, and do the phase, and adjust software, and do firmware upgrades, and all that other kind of stuff remotely, which is cool. And then the microphone sends us, of course, data. It tells us what the manufacturer it is, just us. The serial number, the microphone model, all that stuff. Because if you had 20 of them plugged in, and you just start plugging them in, and you don't jot down what it is, all of a sudden you have to do is just open up your laptop and look at the software program. And it tells you, oh, the KM184 is the first one, and the DO1 is the second one, and the TLM103D is the third one, or whatever. So, and then it tells us some other stuff if there's an issue with it, or if we need, it tells us what the current software or hardware version is. If you have to upgrade the thing, it'll tell you. It's very cool. So just to refresh, we talked about some of this stuff, but this is one of the cool features, overload protection, right? We have, there's a compressor built in, but there's also a peak limiter built in. There's a look-ahead limiter. They will never distort, basically. It's the coolest thing. It will super compress the hell out of whatever is hitting it, but it will never distort. And I found this out by accident when I did a live recording for a training session that we did, and I got the digital microphones to work 3 minutes before the band started. Literally 3 minutes. Didn't even have time to plug the software in. I got the mic signal, got audio, and they started playing, and I just hit record on the Pro Tools rig. And the levels were through the roof. They were being used for room mics. The levels were through the roof. It was crushing it. Never peaked Pro Tools. It was super compressing it. So we played back the stereo pair, and it sounded like a very over-compressed stereo mix of the whole band. It was really cool sounding, but it never distorted. So it never distorted my Pro Tools rig. It never distorted the microphones. And it was this look-ahead peak limiter. I didn't have a chance to go in and adjust any of the settings. I didn't have the software up. Whatever settings were saved in the mic, when I turned them on is what came up. I had no clue what the level was or anything, because I didn't have time. And
what about no latency with that?
Nope.
Man.
No, I mean, samples. And
right.
It depends on the microphone. We're talking like 20 samples, 34 samples.
Oh, yeah, that's nothing.
No, yeah. It's very very minor. So, so it's very, very cool. It can get you out of a jam. So if you put a microphone up on somebody, a singer or whatever, or guitar player or anything, and all right, play a little bit for me. Let's get a level on you. Next thing you know, the take happens, and they're crushing it. You're going to be protected. It's never going to distort on you. It may not be the sound you're looking for because it's going to compress, but it's never going to kill a tape. Let's put it that way. So, which I like. And like I said, all settings can be saved and recalled. You put the settings in the microphone so that when you turn the thing on, it boots up exactly whatever you left it, or you can save the setting. Vocal session number 1 or whatever. So every time you do a vocal session with that person, you pull up his or her settings for that vocalist. Maybe you like your compressor set a certain way, or her level has to be a certain way because she's quiet or whatever. Save it. Mary Beth's vocal settings or something when you pull it up. So very cool. And we're talking about letting plug-in development happen or letting us be used as a plug-in for other people, because it's its own software program. It runs on the recording computer or on a separate laptop or whatever. There's no audio that goes through the computer, it's just data. And it's very, very minimal, so it doesn't load down the CPU, or it won't cause a crash while you're recording something. Most people have it on their Mac while they're recording with their Pro Tools rig, and they just minimize our control screen and it runs in the background. It doesn't load anything down. But we're talking about maybe letting plugins happen to it, because people said it'd be great if I could put my 1176 compressor plug in, because that's my compressor sound. The engineers don't want to do that from Neumann because it affects the sound of the microphones. The president from Neumann does want to do that because it opens up a lot of possibilities, but we're not sure what we're going to do. So, but we can update a lot of stuff with the software in the future. We're hoping to do that. We're hoping more manufacturers will incorporate our software control into their product, like Digico into their board, which is what we're talking about doing, or Avid into their venue consoles at some point, which they're not talking about doing, and they're very hesitant to do anything like that. But we're hoping, it's an open software, and we're hoping that people will collaborate with us to write code for everybody to use. So, and just to give you an idea of what's available, and I have a lot of this stuff with me. That's the one I showed earlier. That's the Big Mac Daddy one there. That's the inside of it. TLM 103Ds. Have you guys ever heard of a TLM 103? Or do you have any here at all?
No.
It's kind of one of the standard studio mics. It's fairly low cost for us, but we have a digital version of it, and I have them here. Again, it's all the same technology as that big one that we made. Little small diaphragm stuff. Oh boy, this is painful. Here we go. So the KM100 series, this is an old analog series that, well, we still make it. An old modular analog series of microphones. You switch the heads for whatever kind of pickup pattern that you want. So what we did, and then we have another analog series of KM184, KM185. Have you guys ever seen these? Or I don't know if you have.
We have some KM. Yeah, we have some.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, so these kind of grew out of that. Flying all over the place in this presentation. A couple different connectors and all that kind of stuff. There's, these things are AES-42 mics. And when you plug them into the back of a Pro Tools rig, it's an AES-ECU input. AES-42 won't plug directly into an AES-ECU input. You have to have something in the middle. And we have digital mic interfaces that convert AES-42 to AES-ECU. I know it's confusing. You'll see it later. But it allows us to then talk to like a Pro Tools rig, and it also allows me computer control. I really have to look at the transitions on these slides. It's kind of weird. And there's these connection kits. These kind of things do the conversion for us as well. So if you don't have something that will accept AES-42, you need to have kind of a conversion kit in the middle, which I'll show you. It makes more sense once you kind of see the layout of it and see how it's run. We have digital shotgun mics now. Actually, this shotgun right here is a Sennheiser. This is actually capable of being digital, which is kind of cool. This is in this form right now. It's analog. It's in my truck. Screw off the analog connector, put on a digital connector. Now it's digital, which is neat. So good for broadcasters because again, if they have a fiber optic run back to their truck, they can go digital. If they're just going on the field into some little 2-channel recorder, and all it has is analog inputs. They scroll the analog and they go right in. It's nice and simple.
So the digital signals distance is reduced by Ethernet cable distance, which is what, 330 feet?
Yeah.
You have to go MADI or something after that, or fiber,
which is
to get more, longer distances.
Yeah.
But 330 feet is pretty good.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. Or you know, digital microphone cabling is I forget what the distance limitation is. Digital AES rated digital microphone cables, which is what I have, can get you pretty far just with a mic cable without any kind of weird signal degradation or anything like that. So. So Neumann has a digital shotgun. It's just a digital version of their old KMR 81, which I don't have with me at all. But digital handheld mics now. You guys ever seen these on stage at all? KMS 104s and 105s. Like this, Nora Jones uses this. Diana Krall, and 311. I mean, a bunch of people use these on stage. We have digital versions. So, you know, most people don't think of having a handheld mic on stage as being digital. We figured why not? I mean, it's super low noise and it's the same cable comes out of it basically. So pretty cool. These are brand new actually, and I don't have these with me. I have an analog one with me. I don't have any digital because they're in Minnesota for my thing for next week. So. And this is the digital module that will turn that shotgun into digital. This MZD 8000. So this is a Sennheiser. It's basically the same technology from Neumann. It's now in Sennheiser products, and it turns. And I have some with me. It turns a lot of our analog mics from Sennheiser into digital. This MKH series of microphones. So here's some more connection kits. Okay, a lot. This is the digital mic interface I was talking about. If you have something that won't accept AES-42 directly, you have to turn it into. If you only have an AES EBU input on your whatever, your recorder, you have to turn our mic into AES EBU, and these boxes do that. So you plug the mic in. Digital mic interface. If you have something that takes AES-42, you don't need that. But most people don't have AES-42, so that's what it looks like. Oh, there's a big picture of the back of it.
So would you need two computers to control it?
Nope.
Just pretty much that AES will just go into whatever your interface is.
Yep, exactly. You got it.
So why do you need to plug in your laptop to it then?
Why?
Yeah. Into this interface, and then also have your AES go into your interface.
The laptop plugs into here only to give you the software control to be able to change the gain and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. And I have a picture of that actually, but here's oh my goodness. This is the one I have with me actually. This is an 8-channel version of the other one was 2 channels. This is 8 channels. Does the same thing. All 8 in.